When it comes to whiskey review podcasts, it seems like everybody and their brother has already done the Woodford Reserve Double. But us, you know what? That's fine, because today it's happening. It's going down. We're going to get into it. It's going to get into us, and we're going to have a good time with it. Are you with us?
Let's do this.
Savor the Bourbon. Let's go. Hello, everyone, ladies, gentlemen, theys and thems, to this episode of the Savor the Bourbon podcast. I'm pretty stoked to get into this one, but before I...
Jazz hands!
Before I do that, my name is Jonathan. Across the barrels from me is Mr. W2. I know you're doing all right.
Doing all right. How about you?
Hell yeah, brother. Right on. Yeah, we're getting ready to get into this.
Dude, I'm so stoked. Mm-hmm. When they announced this one,
yeah,
I started looking, I started hunting. I went into my regular stops here on the Kansas side, asking about this time and time again, to the point where I know they thought I was just a broken record, because
right. Every time you walk in, they're like, here we go again.
So Missouri got their first delivery of the double oaked the weekend of Super Bowl.
Okay.
And
that was a while back.
So Bubbles in Parkville, they got 2 bottles in, and they disappeared within the same hour that they put them in their allocation room.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, they put them down, they get picked right back up by somebody else.
Kansas, however, didn't see any in February. Didn't see any in March. And just a couple weeks ago, you know, right around the corner, Justin's Discount Spirits, I go in there all the time. Every time I walk in there, I get you're the guy that had the whiskey shelf that collapsed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to get recognized for something, you know, it's better that than, I don't know. Didn't I see you on the news? Something about missing persons.
So Katie went in there right before Christmas, and because she was really trying hard to help out, but also was looking for Christmas presents.
Yeah, she does so much for the podcast.
And so she went in there. I waited out in the truck with little man, and I guess she told the whole story, and so she thought that there was a bottle in there that I would want. She picked up the High Rye Baker 7,
nice,
the High Rye Bourbon that trip. But when I walked back in there, they're like, "Oh, your wife just told us about your shelf that collapsed." And so ever since then, every time I walk back in there and I start up the conversations, I get "Oh, you're the guy with the whiskey shelf." Yeah.
You're the guy.
I'm the guy. But anyway, so I was in there about a month ago looking for this, because I knew Missouri had it multiple times.
We even have it in Costco.
And apparently at that time, Kansas still no one in Kansas had gotten any deliveries of this. And so
what's going on, Kansas?
So I'm in there enough. They're like, I'll put your name down. I will call you when they get in. They didn't call me.
Didn't call. Thanks, Justin.
I just happened to be in there, and I went in there just to see what they had, not expecting to find this on the shelf, but it was, and I went,
yeah,
give me.
Mine.
So here we are.
Yeah.
So,
yep. And now we have the bottle to help tell the story.
So let's crack this bad boy open. Let's get this poured up.
Yeah, speaking of the story, tell me the story. What's going on here?
So
what's the website have to say?
This is part of their master collection, hence the super cool and super unique different bottle.
It's got Elizabeth McCall's signature over here in copper, front and back.
This is the Woodford Reserve Masters Collection double oaked bourbon.
Liquid profile, extra aged, 90.4 proof.
Yep, 90.4 proof is their standard proof. And at first I was just like, why are they not giving us extra proof? I think I've kind of settled on being okay with that and thinking that that's kind of really cool that they are able to produce such an expression that's so much above their standard expression and it's still at the same proof.
And each one of them so far that we've found, they're so unique.
Different. Very unique.
They're like, having 10 kids, not that I would know, but like each one of them are different. You would expect with the same mom, same dad, well, maybe 3 or 4 different baby mamas, but like you would expect them to be somewhat similar. They're not. They're all night and day difference. Anyway, pause for bottle pop. Listen close.
Let's do it.
Woo!
Pucker. So like I said, double oaked bourbon. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon. Unlike the Madeira cask, that is a blend of bourbon, rye, and wheated whiskey. Mm-hmm. So therefore, it's not a bourbon because it's a blend of all 3 of those. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This does not have an age statement necessarily. However, it is aged at least 5 to 7 years plus 2 additional years in a second barrel. That's really cool. The mash bill on this, which I was super excited that I was able to find the mash bill. This is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. 90.4 proof. Our most indulgent double-barreled expression. This bourbon undergoes an extended slumber in a second custom-crafted barrel. Deeply toasted and lightly charred, it unlocks an unparalleled depth of flavors, a richness of complexity rarely encountered in American whiskey.
Rarely encountered.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Where?
Right here in the glass.
Bad joke.
Oh my goodness.
Don't at me in the email, Jonathan at savortheburn.com.
And I don't want to hear it at W2 at savortheburn.com.
But feel free to send it to info at savortheburn.com.
Just send it right there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So the cherry has returned with this one.
Yep.
Along with some, I think,
maple?
Dark chocolate, maple.
Maple syrup?
Maple. Wow, shit. All right.
Because I'm getting waffles.
All right. Waffles. I would do waffles sound really bitching right now. I could go for some waffles.
There's a lot of caramel.
There's a Waffle House not too far from here. There's always a Waffle House, no matter where you are.
Is there just a hint of peanut brittle? More so caramel, but just a hint of a little bit of an undertone of peanut brittle.
I'll write it down. Because if I say yes right now, it's only because of power of suggestion.
I think those toasted marshmallows are in this too.
Dark chocolate. Mm-hmm. Not milk chocolate. You said what? Toasted marshmallows?
Toasted marshmallow? Maybe a little apple too.
Apple.
Appalachia.
You know what? I could see apple. Like crisp, freshly sliced apple.
I love the color.
Like Honey Crisp or something. Yeah, I'll put apple in here.
Yeah, definitely Honey Crisp.
Not green apple, not yellow apple. One of the reds, but not red delicious because they are red, but they're not delicious.
They're trash.
Yeah. Anyway, palate.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers, genitals.
And on cue, there's the oak.
Yeah, oak came screaming in. Finish. What is that? Wow. How did the cherry and the chocolate disappear on the palate? But
did it disappear?
It disappeared for me, but it showed back up here in the finish.
Yep.
It's almost like cherry Coke.
We talk quite a bit about oak and charred oak and wood and tannins and all that.
It's not overbearing oak on the palate.
I think this is the masterclass of your oak tasting notes.
Yeah, those like the sweet toasted marshmallow notes came through.
They're big and bad and present, but they also are blended and married in with all those other. There's definitely a toasted burnt marshmallow. It's like
some of like Lane Staley's harmonies with the flavors on here. I mean, they're everywhere. 2, they're all right in key, right in sync where they should be.
That is freaking
3,
delicious.
They're amazing. Guys, Woodford Reserve.
That is straight delicious.
Elizabeth McCall, Master Distiller. Come on, what do you You've outdone yourself. This is amazing. Goodness, this really did turn out to be really good. I swear, dude, it smells like a cherry, or it tastes like cherry Coke on the tail end of or on the back side of the finish. The Kentucky Hugs there.
Yep.
It's not a lingering. It's like a medium warm finish, but it's lingering sweet. What do you think?
I agree.
What do you think of the length, the warmth on the finish?
It's a nice long finish.
You think it's long? Okay.
I do. It doesn't linger indefinitely, but it slow tapers, and that's why I think it is still a long
For me,
finish.
Like finish, post finish, post finish.
There's just a long warming right in the back of the throat, right up here. Does not burn, does not scald, does not follow it all the way down the esophagus.
You think it's drinking like 90 proof? I mean, when you're tasting whiskey, usually the first few, like maybe the first three.
I think this does drink its proof.
You think so?
I do.
You think so? Like usually after the first three or so pulls of whatever whiskey it is that you're enjoying, those aren't indicative as to how the rest of your experience with that pour is going to go, because it's just, your brain, like, alarms go off when 90 proof crosses the palate. It's like, oh no, this is something we shouldn't be doing. But then after that goes away, you really start to get into what the pour has to offer.
And I say that fully knowing that this is coming from someone who regularly enjoys my 120 plus proof pours.
Right.
This is appropriately drinking its proof.
And over the course of 2.5 years now, like we've come a little snobbish, a little elitist with some of our pours. But 80 proof it's back there in the back somewhere. So we're probably not going to enjoy it if it's 80 proof, because it's way too much water in that mix.
Yep.
So if it's your base core level offering on the lower end of it, we're probably not going to see anything special.
Well,
maybe we will if we do a side by side with that and like the next tier.
Blanton's is always 94 proof.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a prime example of what a distillery can do at a lower proof. 94 proof.
We've had a Blanton's that was good. It wasn't great.
It wasn't great.
It was good, and I feel like at 94 proof, it drank hot for 94 proof. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We've also had a Blanton's same proof that was amazing. Did not drink anywhere near 94 proof. This at 90.4 proof, I think it drinks where it should be. You get a great Kentucky Hug.
Yeah.
It's not a hot flash. It's not a scald.
Yeah, you don't get a personal summer in your mouth.
But it's just a nice warming. It's a nice warm wool blanket.
I would like there to be a little bit more proof. I mean, these legs turn into spots. They get kind of spotty on the side. But
if this had the proof of the...
Just because I want those oils in there, those natural things,
If this was the same or a approximate equivalent proof of the batch proof master collection we had last year, the 121.2?
1.2? That sounds about right. God, it's so dark. I'm not seeing any floaters in there.
I can't even imagine what this, as nice and smooth as this drinks at 90.4 proof, and knowing that the closer you get to barrel strength, all the flavors and everything come up.
Yes.
It gets hotter, which makes sense.
Right.
But along with a little bit more heat, you get a lot more flavors that come through. So this at that barrel strength, batch proof level, I think that would be absolutely amazing. But I think this is pretty darn close to amazing also.
Yeah. So me.
I ain't mad at it.
You know me with my sweet tooth. Actually, there's some of the oak there on the finish. Me and my sweet tooth, we love a long, sweet finish. No, that's fine. You're good. And with that, my finish score is probably going to be higher than I normally would have given it. Pass the pipette, please.
Let me use it real quick.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Make sure that's good and incorporated.
This is quite delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And I have not done, after the pipette, I have not gotten back into this.
Let me know what you think.
It's still good. I don't know if it had the same blossoming effect.
It does not. Adding just a couple drops of water to this.
Did you have that experience too?
I did too. It did not. It muted things.
It's still great, but
on the nose,
I feel like it muted it. Yeah.
On the nose, it brought the apple forward, which I thought was pretty cool.
Okay.
Because I didn't even pick up on apple on the nose until you brought it up, and I'm like, okay, well, which apple? And I'm like, okay. So it's red. It's a sweet. It's like a Honey Crisp or whatever. But anyway, so and then on the palate and the finish, I noticed the noke.
Whiskey.
I noticed the oak more than anything else. Noke. That's a technical term, right? Yeah.
Totally a technical term.
Yeah.
So I don't think I have gotten into the tasting notes that I pulled off.
Yeah. What do they have to say here?
So I have appearance roasted coffee bean.
What?
Which I thought was really I don't think we've encountered that description.
Definitely not. That's the first. That's a Savor the Burn first here, folks.
I don't necessarily disagree with it. I could see that.
It is dark. It's not as dark as I would think the Judge, you remember that? The Heinwicked thing? That's like super dark. That's like, to me, that's a roasted coffee bean.
To me, that was a mahogany.
You still have it? You still got it over there.
To me, this is mahogany.
I would think. Dude, look how similar they are. Actually, that's darker. Or maybe, I don't know. Well, I don't know what's darker.
This one's thinner than...
Oh, yeah,
So it plays into it, but...
All right, yeah. Anyway, so back to Woodford Reserve. Yeah, okay. You know what?
So, anyway.
Yeah, fine.
Nose.
Splitting hairs on the colors here.
You ready for this?
All right, nose.
A robust medley of rich maple syrup, dark butterscotch, brittle caramel, bittersweet chocolate, burnt marshmallow, and sweet hickory smoke notes dominate the nose. I don't disagree with any of that. Yeah.
Huh.
Sweet hickory smoke. I don't necessarily disagree with any of that.
We picked up on the maple. The caramel we picked up on. It was a different. We just call it caramel.
The butterscotch we picked up on.
Bittersweet chocolate. That's dark chocolate. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And they said something about marshmallow. What did they say?
Burnt marshmallow.
Burnt marshmallow. You said toasted marshmallow. I think you're closer to the nose, or closer to the mark on the nose when it comes to the to toasted.
So the palate says rich, dried cherry, and cranberry fruit swim in a blackberry jam, brightened with hints of ripe apple. Chai tea and warming clove notes develop to spice up the palate.
All right, maybe clove. All the other stuff that they put in there.
I think clove, definitely clove. Chai tea?
Chai tea, you'll have to tell me on that one. It's been forever since I've had a chai tea. They're stupid good because they're stupid unique. Like,
it might be
never had a tea like a chai tea that's not chai tea.
But dried cherry and cranberry fruit swim in a blackberry jam.
I'm not picking up on that. Like I picked up. I'm
not getting the blackberry jam.
I picked up cherry.
Cherry,
I
definitely.
fucking love blackberry jam, blackberry jelly, blackberry jam, blackberry anything. I love it. So I didn't pick up that.
I could reverse engineer the cranberry also, just because cranberry and cherry are very close. Cranberry is a little bit more of a tart bitter.
A tart bitter sweet.
So I could
slightly sweet, but more tart bitter.
I could reverse engineer that.
And there is some of that in there. I hesitate to call that cranberry.
Finish says warm and drying with a lingering clove character.
Clove character?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
I don't disagree with that at all. I do think that the clove definitely does follow the finish right on out.
Okay, so I'll put clove down here for you. I out with us, I found cherry Coke, dark chocolate, and I thought it was a medium warm finish. You thought it was a long warm finish. I love it for its lingering sweet finish, like after palate, after finish, like after taste or whatever. It's just you know that you've enjoyed something that was probably too sweet. You're going to end up with the diabetes. A little Wilford Brimley for you. And the oak showed up too. The oak showed up, and like you said, maybe I agree with the clove, but the oak for me showed up, especially after we added just a couple drops of the water to it. And I don't suggest, after doing it with this whiskey, I don't suggest adding anything else to it, because any lower than the 90.4 proof on this is going to ruin the experience. So now that makes me want to double back and reiterate that if we had this at a higher proof, if it were at what's the name of it?
121.2.
The 120.
The batch proof.
The batch proof. If we had a batch proof on this,
the 2024
I really think it would
batch
sing appropriately. Yeah. But still, at 90.4, this 3 out of 5 gold stars.
And I think ruin is a little bit of a strong.
You think ruined was strong?
I don't think the drops ruined it, but
I think it dropped it down to average.
But it muted it.
It did mute it.
It muted some things.
I think it dropped it down to whatever average would be. And actually, I'd have to do a side by side of the pipetted 90.4, the double oaked, and the OG, the regular. I don't know if this would drink as good. Well,
let's get our lab coats on and our goggles on, and we're gonna go scientification on.
Yeah, right. So
this bottle.
Okay. So we get that. We get the double. No, wait, that is the double. We do that. We do the double oaked and the OG. We do 3 of those, and then we do a pipette version, a water, 3 drops in a single ounce pour of those 3. Do it blind.
Sure.
Lab coats. We need lab coats and goggles.
What did you give this one on the nose?
On the nose, I gave this one a 4.5. I was really happy with it. I mean, the maple, I really love maple on the nose. Caramel, I thought you thought peanut brittle. Cherry and dark chocolate came through for me. Toasted marshmallow, apple. I'm sold. Like, sign me up for a bottle today. Like, this is just based on the nose. How about you, Mr. W2?
Count me in. I got you.
Yeah, 4.5?
4.5.
All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, for every reason that we've already talked about.
Palate, however.
15 times so far. Palate was different than the nose. In almost every single
I broke out in a dance.
Yeah?
I gave that a 5.
You gave that a 5?
I did.
Okay, well, I bumped mine up to 4 3/4 because it may have had less tasting notes on the palate for us that we found, but they were strong. And they were way different from the nose. I was surprised at how different it was from the nose. But we got oak, a decent amount of oak. Toasted marshmallow carried through. The Kentucky Hug was nice, and a little bit of clove. Yes, sir. So how about the finish?
I came down just a little. 4 3/4.
Okay. Well, my finish dropped to 4.5. However, it would have been probably 4 1/4 if it didn't have such a sweet lingering finish on it.
So good.
Because for me, I love sweetness. This thing's sweet everywhere except for the palate. There's sweetness to it, but it's not like sweet.
Is it safe to say that we haven't done presentation yet? We have not done our final score yet. But is it already safe to say this bottle was worth the hunt?
This bottle's worth the hunt. Absolutely. 100% worth the hunt. Even MSRPing at what?
190?
190.
I think technically MSRP is right at 200.
If you're the kind of whiskey enthusiast that we are, if you've reached our level of enthusiast, and your budget supports that kind of thing, then 200-ish, 200, south of 200 for this bottle is not. It's not a stretch. I mean, you could go out and you could get a bottle of the Johnny Walker Blue.
And that's where I start giving you
smoke it.
And that's where I start giving a side eye when it's a 700 milliliter bottle instead of my 750.
We did talk about that a little bit with the Madeira cask.
I don't want to beat that to death, but when
it's not industry standard, it's world industry standard.
When you're talking about,
there is a difference.
When you're talking about a higher end bottle, and you have so many bottles on the shelf that are 750s
that are also considered higher end bottles,
right? And you
comparable bottles. Yeah, you kind of give them the stink eye a little bit. At least a squint of derision. Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Little Ernest P. Worrell for those of you in the Gen X era.
50 milliliters is an ounce. It's not the end of the world. It's not.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker.
It's not a deal breaker.
But I go ruin the experience. But why do we have to pay more for less? Why? Why is that the direction post-COVID? Why is that the world everything's going? Why?
Jonathan, so I'm going to remind you right now.
Yeah?
We don't do politics on this podcast.
Was I talking about? I said COVID. Is that a political thing? I thought that was a communicable disease thing.
It is. But I'm just going to...
We can politicize anything.
I'm stopping both of us right there.
We're going to stop right there. That's it. Boy, that's a can of worms.
The tangent that I'm just not prepared to go off onto.
If you want that tangent, please send us an email, info, W2 or Jonathan at savortheburn.com. We will absolutely put that tangent in writing and stick it in a newsletter that only our favorite Patreons will be able to access.
I just want to stay right here with my whiskey. like you said early on, I'm going to snuggle up to this
just snuggle up to it. You know, maybe give a little face rub. Like, what's up, baby? How you doing? Don't forget your towel.
What did you give this on the presentation?
Bottle presentation. I locked it in at 4 1/4. And I don't think 4 1/4 is all that bad. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. It's got a heavy bottom on the at the bottom. It's a decent punt.
The glass is beautiful.
For that style bottle. It's like a hand grenade kind of style bottle. Like I think I said earlier before we started recording. It reminds me of the.
Just kidding.
The first time I saw that, it was a smaller bottle. I think it was a 375. It was or maybe a 200. It was that Junction 35 off the rails thing that they had. Like
but that one's actually rounded though.
It was more rounded. This one's more square, more indicative of their Woodford Reserve style. But still, I mean, I love the longer neck and it's how it's wider up here to accept a full cork, natural cork.
It's cool.
I love the dark.
I love it.
What do we call that? Walnut? What do we call that?
Yeah, walnut.
Yeah. So I don't think 4 1/4 is out of the question. What did you give it?
I give 4 1/2.
4 1/2. 4 1/2 is not bad at all.
Just because of how unique this bottle is.
If I wanted to split hairs and I wanted to compare, if you look over at the Madeira cask finished bottle, that one had a little tag hanging off with lots of little cool little information.
Did. Yeah.
And that one you gave a 4 1/2 also, didn't you? Or did you give that one a 4 3/4?
Nope, that one got a 4 1/2 also.
All right, so same score.
Whatever.
Why argue, right? Life is too fucking short to argue. Let's not argue. Can we agree on that one?
Absolutely.
Cool.
What was your final?
Final score was 9 even. How about you?
That's a great score.
Yep.
I like that score.
Was that your score?
Nope.
What was your score?
9.375.
Okay.
9 3/8.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all.
We're still within that half bit.
And how, you know what, we didn't talk about how we score these things. How in the hell did we come to that conclusion?
Jonathan, let me tell you.
Tell me.
We have 4 categories: nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. Each of those get a 0 to 5. Lord help us if you're less than 1.
Right. Lord help
let alone
y'all.
0. Side note, we have not done anything that we've done a 0 to.
Nothing.
On this podcast, if you show up, you're getting something.
You're getting something just for showing up.
But 0 to 5, nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. You add those together, total possible of 20.
Of 20.
We then divide that by 2 to give us our 1 to 10 rating.
Yep.
0 to 10 rating.
Yeah.
Technically, I guess.
And for us, my 0 to 10 rating was 9 even. And Mr. W2's was 9 3/8, 9.375. And you know what? That neither one is a bad rating. This one turned out to be one of the top tier bottles that we've tried.
It's a solid bottle.
I'd be interested to see if it shows up in the top 5 in 2025 later on this year. I have my doubts because it's already been booted by a couple others.
PFG.
Yeah, but whatever. So that's that. And we had a good time with this bottle. If you've had a double oaked bottle of the Woodford Reserve Master Collection, let us know what you think about it. We've said our email several times. If you don't know what it is, well, you're screwed, because I'm not going to tell you it's W2 or Jonathan or info@savortheburn.com. I'm just going to say, just leave us a comment right there on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe, hit the bell notification. Stay up to date on all things Savor the Burn as far as that's concerned. If you're listening to your audio-only podcast app of choice, you know what to do there too. Feel free to share this episode and any other episode that you've enjoyed with your fellow whiskey enthusiasts, because we want to know what they think too. We're always happy to know what people think, but sometimes we don't care. Like if somebody says, "Oh, you're too old to have facial, eyebrow rings. No, Air Force One is not really that." It's something like, shut up. Listen, we're here to have a good time. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. By golly.
I'll drink to that.
Girl, same. So, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, who you're drinking it with, never forget, keep on burning.